Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at power generators this week at DTL. Today we're going to look at 3 items on the two-handed backhand that I think are going to be really helpful to get you hitting that two-hander a little bit bigger. I think as most of you know, I have a one-handed backhand, but I coach a lot of two-handers. So I'm very familiar with the three ideas we're going to look at today. All right, so the first would be, obviously with two hands on the grip, do we hit with kind of even distribution? Do we make it more right hand dominant, or should we make it more left hand dominant? And over the years of coaching the two-hander, I think making the two-hander a little more left hand dominant is going to be a nice source of power. I've got this little analogy here for you, and obviously this right hand on the grip would be in continental grip. So if I'm trying to push something forward from here, would I prefer this right hand in a position where it's in continental and push it forward, or use this left hand, which would be in kind of eastern backhand, and push that way? And I think you can get the feeling, of course, I want that feeling where my left palm is driving out to the ball. So when you get into that continental righty grip and lefty, more eastern backhand grip, it should make sense that you're trying to do a lot more driving with that left side. It's just easier to push onto that ball with more power. So go ahead and get the feeling of getting a little more left side dominant. All right. The second idea would be extension. All right. And this to me is, as I've coached the two-hander over the years, this is the biggest one. And the reason for this is because you get a lot of players with a two-hander that right at contact or close to contact, they're ready to just follow through. And that is such a mistake when you're trying to hit the ball for power. So if I'm in position and contact is going to be around this first ball here, there are so many players who hit a weak two-hander because they get to that ball number 1 and they just bring that racket up to the shoulder. And this swing is so much more vertically oriented than extension oriented. All right, and the extension is where the strings are going to drive on the tennis ball and give it more force outward. So this is a great visual to help you get extension. If contact's going to occur at ball number 1, don't stop there and lift up. Try to pretend like you're pushing through 3 tennis balls. And at this point where the tip of that racket is starting to almost point to the other side of the court, now would be time to start to think about letting the racket come up to your shoulder. What you can also see as I extend that racket more out, what happens to that back foot? You notice I start to let it release because it helps me reach and extend. So I'm giving my body to this forward movement, and it's going to create more power. So extension is such a big idea. All right, and then third would be rotation. So once we've extended through those 3 balls, I've always thought it's really easy with a two-hander because it's slightly shorter than a one-hander. It's easy to get a little bit restricted on that finish. And by restricted, I mean letting the hips and the shoulders stay a little more closed off in that starting position. Obviously, I'm closed to the outside, but if I go ahead and try to swing my backhand and finish where my hips and shoulders are still facing out here somewhere to the left, I'm losing out on this feeling of rotation where my hips and shoulders start to face outward, if not slightly more to the right side of the tennis court. There's a lot of power to be had there because that's that coil idea. I'm trying to store energy in this turn, and I'm trying to uncoil that energy into my follow through. And if I leave my hips and shoulders blocked out to this left side, I lose that rotational idea, and therefore I'm going to lose power. All right, so that was a lot to digest there, but to recap really quickly, start to drive that left side push. Start to get a little more left side dominant. Work more extension. Get those arms and hands really working outward before we even think about coming up more vertical, and then use the body in that rotational idea. Let that back foot really start to kick through the follow through, and you're definitely going to start exploding that two-hander, probably bigger than you are right now, okay? And that's all I got for you today. Hope that was super helpful. Please click like below this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well. We'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.